What if I told you that sometimes the greatest blessing comes during the worst famine? What if the very season that appears to threaten your future is actually the season where my favor becomes most visible? Most people trust when circumstances are comfortable. Most people believe when the path is clear. But Genesis chapter 26 reveals what happens when faith must survive uncertainty. A famine strikes the land, fear begins to rise, a familiar mistake returns. Enemies attempt to destroy what has been built. Wells are stolen, opportunities are blocked. Yet through it all, Isaac discovers a powerful truth. The blessing I place upon someone's life cannot be stopped by circumstances, opposition, or envy. The chapter begins with a crisis, a famine spread across the land, not unlike the famine that Abraham had faced years earlier. Once again, the covenant family stood before a difficult choice. Food was scarce, resources were limited, uncertainty filled the future. Isaac naturally considered traveling to Egypt. Egypt represented security. Egypt represented stability. Egypt seemed like the logical solution. But then I appeared to Isaac, and my instructions surprised him. Do not go down to Egypt. Stay in the land I will show you. Imagine the challenge of that command. Remain in the very place where famine existed. Remain where resources appeared limited. Remain where the future looked uncertain. This is one of the great lessons of faith. Sometimes my will does not appear to be the safest option. Sometimes obedience requires staying where others are running. Sometimes blessing is hidden in the place people are trying to escape. I reaffirm the covenant given to Abraham. The promises remained unchanged. The land would belong to his descendants. His offspring would multiply like the stars. Nations would be blessed through his family. The covenant was now resting upon Isaac. The promise had not died with Abraham. It was moving forward. And Isaac obeyed. He remained in Gerar. But despite his faith, Isaac was still human. Soon he encountered a familiar fear. The people noticed Rebekah's beauty, and Isaac began to worry. Fear whispered the same lie it had whispered to Abraham years earlier. What if they kill me because of her? So Isaac repeated his father's mistake. He claimed that Rebekah was his sister. Notice something important. Even faithful people can repeat the mistakes of previous generations. Faith does not make someone perfect, but my mercy remains present even when my people stumble. Eventually the truth was discovered. King Abimelech observed Isaac and Rebekah together and immediately realized they were husband and wife. He confronted Isaac. Why have you done this? You could have brought guilt upon our people. Yet instead of harming Isaac, Abimelech protected him. A royal decree was issued. No one was to touch Isaac or Rebekah. Once again, my protection remained upon the covenant family, despite human weakness. Then the story takes an extraordinary turn. Isaac planted crops during the famine. Pause for a moment. Most people would have avoided planting during a famine. Most people would have focused on survival. But Isaac acted in faith, and the results were astonishing. He harvested 100 times what he planted, 100-fold return, not because conditions were favorable, not because the economy was thriving, not because circumstances were perfect, because I blessed him. This is a powerful truth. The source of blessing is not the environment. The source of blessing is my favor. When my hand rests upon someone, famine does not have the final word. Isaac's wealth began to increase rapidly. His flocks multiplied, his herds expanded, his servants increased. Day after day, year after year, the blessing became impossible to ignore. And then something predictable happened. The Philistines became jealous. Envy has always struggled to understand divine favor. People often celebrate success from a distance, but when they witness it closely, jealousy can emerge. The Philistines responded by attacking the very foundation of Isaac's prosperity. They filled in the wells Abraham's servants had dug. Think about what that means. In the ancient world, wells were life. Wells meant survival. Wells meant prosperity. Wells meant future growth. By filling them with earth, the Philistines attempted to erase Abraham's legacy. Eventually, Abimelech approached Isaac. "You have become too powerful. Leave this place." Many people would have responded with anger. Many would have demanded justice. Many would have fought. Isaac chose a different path. He left peacefully. This is one of the most remarkable qualities of Isaac: strength under control, confidence without conflict, trust without retaliation. He understood something many people miss. If my blessing was truly upon him, he did not need to fight for every piece of territory. I could open new doors. So Isaac moved into the valley. There he began reopening the wells of Abraham. Notice the symbolism. He was not creating a new legacy. He was restoring an old one. He was reconnecting with the faith and promises that had come before him. Soon his servants discovered fresh spring water, but conflict immediately followed. The local herdsman claimed ownership, so Isaac named the well Esek, which means contention. Instead of fighting, he moved on. Another well was dug. Again, conflict erupted. This well was named Sitna, meaning opposition. Once more, Isaac walked away. Think about how difficult that must have been. 2 wells, 2 disputes, 2 opportunities lost. Yet Isaac continued forward. Then they dug a 3rd well. This time no one contested it. No arguments, no hostility, no conflict. And Isaac named it Rehoboth, meaning room or wide spaces. For now the Lord has made room for us. What a beautiful lesson. Sometimes people become discouraged because doors keep closing, because conflicts keep appearing, because opportunities seem lost. What they do not realize is that I may be leading them toward Rehoboth, the place where there is finally room to flourish, the place prepared specifically for them, the place where blessing can grow without constant opposition. Isaac eventually journeyed to Beersheba, and there I appeared to him once again. "Fear not, for I am with you." How often those words appear throughout Scripture. Fear not. Not because challenges disappear, not because opposition ends, but because my presence changes everything. Isaac responded exactly as Abraham often had. He built an altar, he worshipped, he pitched his tent, and he dug another well. Notice the pattern: worship, faith, work, trust. Isaac understood that blessing comes through relationship with me, not merely through possessions. Then something unexpected happened. Abimelech returned, the same ruler who had sent Isaac away. Now he arrived seeking peace. Why? Because even his enemies could see the truth. The Lord is with you. Think about that. Isaac never had to convince anyone. He never had to advertise his blessing. His life spoke for itself. His prosperity spoke for itself. His character spoke for itself. Even those who opposed him eventually recognized my hand upon him. A covenant of peace was established. The relationship was restored. And on that very day, Isaac's servants arrived with incredible news. They had found water, another well, another provision, another reminder of my faithfulness. Isaac named it Sheba, and the place became known as Beersheba, the well of the oath, a place where promises and blessings converged. Yet the chapter ends with a warning. Esau, now 40 years old, married 2 Hittite women. This decision brought grief to Isaac and Rebekah. The issue was not merely marriage, the issue was direction. While Isaac was building altars and seeking my guidance, Esau was beginning to reveal where his priorities truly lay. A contrast was emerging. One generation was pursuing covenant promises. The next generation would soon face choices that would determine its future. Genesis chapter 26 teaches a timeless truth. Faith does not guarantee an easy path. Isaac experienced famine, fear, conflict, rejection, envy, and opposition. Yet through every challenge my blessing remained. The wells were blocked, but new wells appeared. The doors closed, but better doors opened. The enemies opposed him, but eventually sought peace with him. Because what I bless cannot be permanently cursed by man. What I establish cannot be destroyed by envy. And what I promise will always come to pass. Isaac learned that true prosperity is not found in possessions. It is found in my presence. Because when I am with you, even a famine can become a season of abundance. If this story has deepened your understanding of Scripture, subscribe to Primordial Lore and continue exploring the greatest stories ever told. And now, continue to the next chapter, where an aging Isaac prepares to pass on the covenant blessing, a family deception unfolds, and Jacob receives a blessing that will change the course of biblical history forever.